My beloved, before the world saw you, I saw you. Before your name was ever spoken by human lips, it was written on my heart. And today I bring you back, not just to the memory of the cross, but to the mystery of it, to the whisper that still echoes through time, through blood, through silence. You may not have realized it, but this message was set in motion long before you opened it. This moment is not random. It is redemption reaching for you again. I've been drawing you, gently and faithfully, through every ache, every pause, every question. And now here you are. And so am I. You have sensed it, haven't you? A stirring deep inside that nothing else seems to satisfy. A quiet ache that success couldn't silence. That distractions couldn't drown. That's not failure. That's me. That's the soul awakening. That's the part of you that was made for more than just surviving, more than noise, more than approval, more than performance. It's your spirit remembering who you are and whose you are. It's the beginning of a return, not to religion but to the reality of my presence. You were made for this, for me. For the kind of love that doesn't need to be earned. For the kind of peace that doesn't need circumstances to cooperate. For the kind of purpose that doesn't disappear when things fall apart. So pause. Let everything else grow still for a moment. Breathe in the gravity of this. The cross was never meant to be a symbol of guilt. It was always a declaration of love, a love that bled. A love that broke, a love that whispered your name in the middle of pain and didn't stop calling, even when you stopped listening. You've heard many voices in your life, some loud, some harsh. Some hollow, but none have carried the weight of eternal truth like mine. And I am speaking again, not shouting, not demanding, whispering, because love doesn't need volume when it carries power. The cross still whispers your name and your soul is waking up to the sound. This is not just about remembering what happened to me on that hill. It's about recognizing what is happening in you now. You are not far from me. You're not too lost, too late, or too broken. Even if you feel numb, even if you've stopped praying, even if part of you wonders if I still care. I do. I never stopped. And today, through this message, I'm breathing on embers you thought had gone cold. You don't need to force revival. You just need to let me whisper again. There's a reason the cross looked like weakness to the world. There's a reason I chose to save you, not through a crown, but through surrender, because I didn't come to impress you. I came to reach you, to meet you in your human pain, to become like you so that you could finally become like me. I took on the silence so you could hear my voice again. I endured the separation so you could be restored. This is the heartbeat of redemption. I died with your name in my spirit and I rose calling it out with fire. So if you feel that flicker right now, that warmth, that lump in your throat, that strange knowing, it's me. Not a memory. Not a story. Me. Alive. Near. Whispering. And I won't stop. I'll keep whispering through the scriptures you've forgotten. Through the prayers you don't have words for. Through the worship that flows from broken places. I will keep speaking until your soul stops running. And when it finally turns, I'll be right here. Come close now. Let the awakening begin. Let the veil fall. Let your name echo through the silence once more. The cross still whispers and it's whispering you. My child, before you ever reached for me, I had already reached for you. Before you even thought to seek me out, I had already set things in motion to bring you back to the place where your soul could breathe again. You've believed for so long that your identity is something you have to earn. Like it's a status awarded to those who get everything right. But I never loved you based on your record. I loved you based on your origin. I'm the one who made you. I'm the one who breathed my own life into your lungs. And I have never once looked at you through the lens of your mistakes. I see you through mercy. I speak to you from eternity. I name you from the place where time and failure have no authority. You have walked through seasons where you tried to redefine yourself by your achievements, your roles, your titles, things people could affirm or applaud. But none of those labels stuck, did they? Not because you weren't good enough to wear them, but because they were never meant to contain who you are. You were never meant to live for applause. You were meant to live from identity. You were not created to chase approval. You were created to live from a place of already being chosen. You don't need to strive to be seen. You were seen long before anyone else knew your name. And even in your most hidden places, I have never stopped watching over you with delight. There have been moments, I know, when you wondered if I had turned my face from you. When prayers felt like they hit the ceiling. When your tears dried up from exhaustion, not resolution. You didn't need someone to fix you. You just needed to know that I was still near. And though you couldn't feel me, I was there. I sat with you in the silence. I hovered over you in the ache. I never turned away. I'm not like the ones who walked out when you stopped being useful. I'm not like the ones who loved you conditionally, temporarily, based on your ability to hold it all together. I stay. Even when you fall apart, I stay. You've carried guilt for things you've never had control over. You've replayed moments in your mind where you wish you had said more, done more, been stronger. But listen to me now. I'm not asking you to relive your regrets. I'm asking you to release them. You cannot change what's behind you, but you can choose what leads you. And if you'll let me, I will lead you from this moment. Not from judgment, but from grace. Grace that doesn't excuse your wounds, but heals them. Grace that doesn't gloss over your past, but rewrites it into something redemptive. I can work with honesty. I can restore what shame tried to bury. But you have to let me back in. I want you to know what I see when I look at you. Not what the world says, not what fear says, not what failure whispers. I see someone full of potential. I see someone who's learned to survive but is being called now to live. I see someone who's fought in silence and still showed up, even when no one clapped or noticed. I see someone who has cried out for truth beneath the noise, who has longed to be held by something real. And here I am. Not demanding, not disappointed, just here. And I'm calling you not just to feel better, but to become free. You were never meant to live numb. You were never meant to shut down your emotions to keep functioning. That numbness is not peace. It's just survival. And I came to bring you more than survival. I came to restore the sensitivity of your heart, to teach you how to live fully again, to feel again, to believe again. You think you're being strong by holding it all in, but real strength is in surrender. Let me teach you how to carry life, not just responsibility. Let me show you that joy isn't something that comes after you figure everything out. It's something I place in your spirit when you finally let go. You've waited for circumstances to change so you could feel alive again. But I'm not waiting on circumstances. I'm waiting on permission. I stand at the door and knock, not because I'm unsure of my place in your life, but because I honor your will. I never force intimacy. I never violate trust. I always invite. And right now I'm inviting you back. Not just to church, not to performance, not to pressure, but to me. To the one place your soul has always felt safe. Even when your mind didn't understand it. Come sit with me again. Let me reintroduce myself to the version of you that forgot how to rest. You've known me as Lord, but I want to show you my heart as Father. You've called me Savior, but now I want to walk with you as friend. This isn't about religion. This is about return. This is about rebuilding the foundation that can never be shaken again. Your identity in me. And when that truth becomes your center, no storm will destroy you. No silence will scare you. No failure will define you. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for permission. I'm not looking for performance. I'm looking for presence. You don't have to come with answers. Just with honesty. You don't have to clean yourself up first. Just come. Sit. Let me hold what you've tried to carry alone. Let me speak where you've grown tired of listening. Let me love you. Not the polished version, not the Sunday version, but the real you. The messy you. The beautiful you. The one who never stopped being mine. So here is my invitation. Come close again. Lean in. Let me be the one who defines you again. Not your pain. Not your past. Not your performance. Me. The one who whispered your name from the cross. The one who never stopped calling. The one who is calling still. My child, I know you've wondered why the pain had to last so long. Why, if I truly loved you, I allowed you to walk through valleys that seemed endless. Carry burdens that no one else could see and sit in silence that stretched so far it began to sound like absence. I know you've asked quietly in the corners of your heart, why did you let it happen? Not just once, but over and over again. And I have heard every whisper. I have seen every tear. And I was never far. I need you to understand something most people never learn. Pain is not proof of my absence. Sometimes pain is the tool I allow when I want to reach the places in you that nothing else could touch. You've been taught that pain is punishment, that suffering must be the result of failure or sin. But that is not the whole story. There are times when I allow the breaking not to punish, but to prepare. You prayed for purpose. I had to make room for it. You cried out for a deeper encounter. I had to remove what dulled your spirit. You asked me to make you strong in faith. I had to take away the things you leaned on so that you would finally lean on me. This is not cruelty. This is the fierce love of a father who knows that eternal strength cannot be built on temporary ease. What you've walked through was never meant to destroy you. It was allowed to deliver you from illusions, dependencies, idols, and wounds that were silently shaping your identity. You may not have seen it while you were in the middle of it, but I was there through all of it. I was with you in the moment when the betrayal broke your trust. I stood beside you when you felt abandoned, misunderstood, overlooked. I wept with you when grief stole your voice and depression clouded your mind. I never turned away, not for a second. I didn't stop it all from happening, no. But I stepped into it with you, and I began using even the chaos as raw material for your healing. What others meant for harm, I have always known how to redeem. Pain is a strange tutor. It makes things visible that comfort hides. It slows down the noise, sharpens your questions, reveals what you actually believe. It removes the shallow layers of faith and exposes whether or not you trust me when nothing makes sense. And you did. You may not think so because your faith didn't feel perfect. But even when all you had left was breath in your lungs and a whisper of, "Help me," you kept coming. And that is what moved me. You didn't fake joy. You didn't pretend peace. You brought me your real self, and I received it. Some of the pain you carried wasn't even from this season. It came from years ago. From words spoken over you when you were too young to understand they weren't true. From moments that taught you to hide, to perform, to be strong for everyone else while quietly dying inside. You learned survival, but not healing. You learned how to function in brokenness, but not how to be whole. So I had to bring you to a place where all the numbing, the distraction, the masks no longer worked. I had to let the cracks show because only in the light can wounds be healed. Even now you might be tempted to push this part of the process away, to rush through it, to look for the exit. But listen, there's gold in your pain. There is wisdom being carved into your soul. There is compassion being born. In the same place you felt forgotten. I'm not in a hurry to get you out of the fire because I'm in the fire with you and I know what it's producing. I am forging a purity in you that can't be shaken by applause or rejection, by blessing or battle. You're being shaped into someone whose heart reflects mine, whose words carry weight, whose eyes carry hope. This doesn't happen on mountaintops. This happens in Gethsemane. You've asked me to use you. You've asked me to anoint you. You've asked me to give you clarity and spiritual authority, and now I ask you, will you trust me in how I prepare you? Will you allow me to continue the process even when it feels like silence? Will you let me finish what I started in the dark so that when I bring you into the light you won't crumble under the weight of your calling? There is no wasted pain when it's placed in my hands. I collect every tear not as a sign of weakness but as holy evidence that you were present in the process. Every sigh you gave in the night, every why you carried without resolution. Every moment you chose to worship through confusion. It's all recorded in heaven. You are not invisible to me. You never were, and now as you begin to come up from the valley you will start to see how I use the pain to prepare the soil of your heart to carry things you would not have been able to hold before. Do not be ashamed of what you walk through. Your scars are not signs of defeat. They are the places where resurrection touched you. You will carry them not with shame but with holy authority. You will speak to others from the same depth where you once wept. You will walk into rooms with quiet power because you've met me in the silence, and you will not crumble the next time the wind blows because you now know even when it hurts I am still God. Even when it's quiet I am still good. Even when it's dark I am still light. Let me finish the work. Let me take what was bitter and bring beauty from it. Let me show you that your pain has not been in vain. You're being made new even now, and when the time comes what once broke you will be the very thing I used to open prison doors for others. My beloved, now that you have let me meet you in the pain, I need you to lift your eyes again, not just outward but upward. I have never spoken just to comfort you in the valley. I also speak to call you out of it, and now hear me clearly. The shift has begun. Even if nothing around you looks different yet, I tell you in the spirit it has already started. The turning of the tide, the unraveling of the darkness, the unlocking of what seemed closed. It's moving and I am the one initiating the change. You've waited so long you stopped expecting. You've hoped so many times you learned to protect yourself from disappointment. You've said things like, maybe it just wasn't meant for me, or maybe this is just my life now, but I never wrote resignation into your story. That numbness is not peace, it's just grief in disguise, and I am now breathing into the place where you buried hope. I am reawakening what you stopped asking for. The dreams you silenced. The promises you put on hold. The prayers you prayed once and walked away from. I was listening the entire time and I was never ignoring you. I was working underneath layer by layer, moment by moment, preparing everything for precise fulfillment. You need to know this: I do not forget what I speak. My words are eternal. When I whisper a promise to you, it does not expire. It does not weaken over time. It is not affected by your delays or your doubts. My word sustains itself because I sustain it. The delay has not been denial. It has been divine development. I wasn't just preparing the promise for you. I was preparing you for the promise. You had to be strengthened in places you didn't know were weak. You had to let go of things that would have poisoned the blessing. You had to be emptied of false sources so that you would know exactly where the fulfillment came from when it arrived. And now I say to you, get ready to see again. I'm about to show you that I was never inactive. I was never silent. I was strategic. I was building around you and within you at the same time. I was aligning people, shifting circumstances, softening hearts, creating opportunities. You thought you were stuck, but I was settling foundations. You thought nothing was changing, but I was clearing the path ahead. The very doors that once shut in your face are about to open without your effort. Not because you forced them, but because I ordained them. Some will come quietly. A sudden moment of clarity. A divine interruption in your plans. A conversation that brings something back to life inside of you. A sense of peace where anxiety used to rule. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. My spirit will make you sensitive again. Not to noise, but to alignment. You will walk into rooms and know you were supposed to be there. You will hear things that no one else noticed and realize I'm speaking between the lines. You will begin to see the invisible fingerprints of my hand all over your life. But I also want to speak to the promise itself. Yes, that one. The one you're scared to bring up again because it hurt too much to hope. I didn't give it to you just to test your faith. I gave it to you because it's part of my plan to reveal my glory through your story. And though it may have gone silent, it is not gone. I am breathing on it again. I'm not reviving it for nostalgia. I'm reviving it for fulfillment. And when it comes, it will come full and it will come fast. Suddenly, seamlessly, supernaturally. Do not look to others for validation of what I've whispered in secret. Many will not understand what I'm about to do in your life because they were not in the secret place when I first spoke it to you. They did not hear the original whisper. So they cannot confirm the promise I'm about to perform. But you will know. Your spirit will leap when it begins. Peace will clothe you even in the middle of uncertainty. And joy, real joy, will return to your heart like the first sunlight after a long night. I'm also raising your awareness in this season. You're not just a recipient, you're a carrier. I've deposited things in your spirit that aren't just for your comfort, but for the comfort of others. You will begin to recognize moments when you are called to speak life into someone else's silence. Not from a place of performance, but from experience. You've walked through the dark and now you carry light. You've known the cross and now you carry resurrection. You felt the ache and now you will carry the answer. You are not who you were and others will see the shift in you even before you do. So stand tall, not in arrogance, but in awareness. Lift your head. Shake off the dust of disappointment. Expect again. Watch again. Listen again. I am speaking through open doors, divine connections, sudden favor, and gentle promptings. I'm confirming my promise in new ways. Don't miss it waiting for the old ones. Don't expect me to move how I moved last time. I'm doing something new and it's already beginning. You've survived the silence. Now prepare to walk in the sound of fulfillment. Now that your spirit has begun to feel again. Now that the weight has started to lift and your eyes are turning back toward me. I need you to understand something essential. What I've revealed to you must now be lived. The power of my word is not in how emotional it makes you feel in a moment. It's in how deeply it reshapes the way you live your days. You weren't just called to hear me. You were created to walk with me, step by step, breath by breath, not just on the mountaintop, but in your ordinary, quiet, unfiltered life. I know the temptation is to return to what's familiar, to treat this word like inspiration and then settle back into the same rhythms that dulled your spirit in the first place. But don't go back. Let me teach you a new rhythm, one that begins in the secret place. I want to be your first conversation every morning, not an afterthought. I want to walk with you through your schedule, not just meet you once a week in a service. This is not about religion. It's about relationship. It's about learning to live from me, not just for me. I'm not calling you to strive harder. I'm inviting you to stay closer. So here's what I ask. Make space for me again. Real space. Not just leftover time, but prioritized time. Even if it's 10 minutes in the morning before the chaos begins. Even if it's in the stillness of night after the world goes quiet. Open my word. Not as a ritual, but as a conversation. Don't just read to finish. Read to listen. Read until I speak. You may not always feel something dramatic, but if you stay faithful, you'll notice a shift. Your mind will begin to align with truth. Your decisions will be shaped by peace. Your words will begin to carry weight. This is how faith grows. Not through hype, but through habit. Not through performance, but through presence. And I want you to talk to me. Not perform. Not recite. Just talk. Tell me what you're afraid of. Tell me where you're confused. Tell me what you're hoping for, but scared to say out loud. I already know it all. But when you open your heart in prayer, you allow me to step into your thoughts with clarity and comfort. And when you finish talking, don't rush away. Sit. Wait. Be still. Learn to listen. You don't need lightning bolts to know I'm speaking. Sometimes my answer is peace. Sometimes it's a scripture that won't leave your mind. Sometimes it's a name I bring to your heart to forgive. I will guide you if you give me space to lead. Worship me not just with songs, but with posture. When your heart feels heavy, lift your hands anyway. When your thoughts feel scattered, speak my name anyway. When you feel nothing at all, still come close. Worship realigns you, even when I don't understand. And in that place of surrender, you will find strength you didn't know you had. I also want to teach you how to walk in faith outside the secret place. In the decisions no one sees, in how you respond when you're offended, in how you love people who can't repay you, in how you choose integrity when shortcuts look easier. These are the places where my spirit grows strong in you. This is what becoming mature in me looks like. Not perfection, but consistency. Not loud spirituality, but quiet obedience. Every time you say yes to me in the small, I prepare you for something greater. Every time you choose truth over comfort, you create space for heaven to move. Pay attention to what feeds your spirit. Not everything is evil, but not everything is wise. Some things may not be sin, but they slowly suffocate your hunger for me. You don't need to live in fear, but you do need to live with discernment. Ask me to show you what dulls your faith, what drains your peace, what distracts your focus. You may need to close certain tabs in your life, walk away from some conversations. Shift how you spend your time. This isn't restriction, it's realignment. It's training your soul to recognize my voice more clearly. Surround yourself with people who sharpen you spiritually. You were never meant to grow alone. Find community. Not perfect people, but hungry ones. People who challenge you to keep growing, who remind you of what I've spoken when life gets loud again. Isolation may feel safe, but it leads to stagnation. Healing happens in my presence, but growth is sustained in community. Be vulnerable, be teachable, be willing to let others see your process. This is how I shape you into a vessel that lasts. And remember this, you won't always feel spiritual. Some days you'll feel tired, some days you'll forget, some days you'll fall. But when you do, don't hide, don't run. Return. Quickly. I am not shocked by your weakness. I'm not disappointed by your humanity. I knew who you were when I called you, and I will never change my mind. What matters is not that you never fall. What matters is that you return quickly, that you let me lift you, that you don't quit. This is the life of a disciple. Not a perfect life, but a surrendered one. So walk with me step by step. Let the cross not just be something you remember, but something you live from. Let my whisper guide your pace. Let my presence fuel your decisions. Let your faith become a rhythm, not just a rescue. And watch what begins to grow in your life. Watch how peace becomes your baseline. Watch how discernment becomes natural. Watch how love flows even in pressure. You are not just being restored. You are being prepared for more than you imagined. My beloved, I need to speak now to the part of you that has been quietly forgotten, not by me, but by you. The part of your soul that stopped expecting to feel whole. The part that silently agreed with the lie. Maybe this is just who I am now. Disappointed, tired, always trying, never fully healed. I never spoke those words over you. I never agreed with that identity. I never called you wounded. I never labeled you with your lowest moment. I've watched how the enemy tried to rename you through betrayal, through abandonment, through shame. But I never stopped calling you by the name I gave you before the world had a chance to distort you. Chosen, mine beloved whole. You've carried the weight of others' words longer than you realize. Words that were spoken in anger, in ignorance, in fear. Words that pierced you when your heart was still tender. And because those words came early, or came often, or came from voices you trusted, they shaped something in your perception. They created a filter through which you started to see yourself and even me. That's why it's been hard for you to believe fully when I say you're enough. That's why you doubt when I whisper love. Because somewhere along the way you stopped seeing your reflection through my eyes and started seeing it through broken mirrors. But I have come to tear down every false name, every unholy agreement, every label that shame tried to tattoo on your soul. You are not what happened to you. You are not the sum of your choices. You are not the version of yourself you had to become just to survive. The cross didn't just forgive your past, it restored your identity. And I need you to receive this now, not as theory, not as religious language, but as eternal truth. You are who I say you are, no more, no less. And who I say you are has never changed. You may say, but I failed you. And I say, I knew you would. And I still chose you. You may say, but I've been running. And I say, I've been walking beside you the whole time. You may say, but I'm not strong enough. And I say, perfect. Now you'll finally let me be your strength. This isn't about your performance, this is about your position. You are my child, my image bearer, my dwelling place. You belong. Even when you feel far, you're stronger, purer, truer. And I'm about to show you. But before I send you forward, I need you to lay something down. Lay down the shame. Lay down the version of yourself you've been dragging like a weight. Lay down the habit of comparing yourself to others, always coming up short in your own mind. Lay down the need to prove your worth to people who were never assigned to recognize it. Lay down the pressure to constantly be okay. You don't have to be okay to be mine. You just have to be honest. And here in this place of raw honesty, I will give you back your name. You are my son. You are my daughter. You are the joy of my heart. You are the echo of my image. You are not invisible. You are not a burden. You are not disqualified. I want to restore your confidence, not the kind built on success or appearance, but the kind that comes from knowing who you are and whose you are. I want you to walk into rooms with the quiet authority of someone who's been with me. I want you to speak with the compassion of someone who's been healed. I want you to lead, serve, love, write, build, create, not from a place of performance, but from overflow. This is your inheritance, not just salvation, but identity. Not just eternity later, but wholeness now. Yes, you will still feel moments of weakness. Yes, you will still have days of uncertainty. But those moments are no longer threats. They are invitations. Invitations to return quickly, to realign, to remember. You're not what the voices of fear and failure have called you. You're not what culture tried to shape you into. You're not a shadow of yourself. You're fully seen, fully known, and fully loved by me. Let this be the day you stop shrinking. Let this be the day you speak again, dream again, move again. Not because of a motivational word, but because something eternal has been reawakened in you. You've been restored on the inside, where it matters most. And now the world is going to see the evidence of what I've done in the secret place. You are no longer the broken one. You are the redeemed one. You are no longer the forgotten one. You are the called one. You are no longer waiting for permission. You've already been chosen. Now that your identity has been restored, now that the lies have been exposed and the truth has begun to take root in your soul, I want to walk with you through the next step. How to remain in what I've revealed. Because transformation is not sustained by emotion. It is established by discipline. I don't say that as a burden, but as a gift. Discipline is not punishment. It is protection. It guards the work I've done in your heart. It makes space for my presence to grow in your daily life. It becomes the sacred rhythm by which your spirit stays alive, alert, and aligned. First, start with your posture. Not your physical one, your inner one. The posture of your heart when you wake up, when you walk into rooms, when you respond to pressure, when you feel unseen or uncertain. You're not a victim of your atmosphere. You carry my spirit inside of you. That means your day does not dictate your spirit. Your spirit is meant to direct your day. Begin each morning not with a checklist, but with an invitation. Say, Holy Spirit, fill this day. Make me aware. Speak to me. Lead me. This simple act is not small. It is spiritual alignment, and alignment always precedes movement. Next, prioritize my word. I know how many distractions compete for your time, but you cannot afford to live disconnected from the truth. My word is your anchor, your light, your daily bread. It is not an obligation. It's a weapon. Open it not to complete a task, but to commune with me. Don't be intimidated by what you don't understand. I will highlight what you need. I will feed you what your spirit is hungry for. Start small. Let it build. Let my word form the foundation of your perspective. Read it slowly. Read it aloud. Meditate on it until it begins to speak back to you. I don't need you to memorize entire books. I need you to carry the verses I breathe into your spirit for this season. Make prayer your lifestyle, not just your emergency response. Talk to me throughout your day. Don't wait until everything falls apart to ask for direction. Ask me in the small things. Invite me into the ordinary moments. Let me shape your decisions, not just your reactions. When you begin to walk with that kind of intimacy, you'll realize I've been speaking far more often than you thought. I was just waiting for you to slow down and listen. And when you pray, don't only ask. Worship. Declare who I am. Thank me for what I've done, even if it's not fully visible yet. Worship shifts your inner atmosphere faster than anything else. It silences the voice of fear. It invites the weight of my glory to dwell with you. Guard your attitude not by pretending to be okay, but by being aware of your inner world. Watch what triggers you. Pay attention to what stirs anxiety, envy, anger, or discouragement. Those are signals not to shame you, but to bring you back to me. When your emotions begin to rise, pause. Ask, Father, what are you showing me here? I will teach you how to respond with wisdom. I will give you patience when you feel pressure. I will remind you of truth when lies try to sneak back in. This is what walking by the Spirit means. It is living aware of my presence, moment by moment. Be intentional with your environment. What you consume with your eyes, ears, and attention is shaping your spirit far more than you realize. You cannot stay sensitive to my voice if you are feeding your mind with noise, chaos, and compromise. I'm not calling you to fear the world. I'm calling you to be rooted in truth. Detox your mind. Make space for silence again. Curate what you let in. Choose what builds your soul. Choose what leads you back to peace. Every day, you're forming either spiritual focus or spiritual fog. Choose clarity. Choose light. Stay close to community, not just any community. Spirit-filled, truth-centered, grace-carrying people who remind you of what I've spoken. You will need people around you who aren't impressed by your gifting, but committed to your growth. People who will challenge your compromise and celebrate your obedience. I never called you to isolation. Even when you are being set apart, you are never meant to walk alone. Community protects purpose. It sharpens discernment. It creates space for healing and strength. Be honest. Be teachable. Be open. I will use people around you to confirm what I've whispered in secret. And lastly, practice obedience quickly. Don't wait for all the answers before you take the step. When I prompt you, act. When I highlight someone to forgive, release them. When I bring someone to your heart, reach out. When I ask you to serve, do it. When I call you to speak, speak. This kind of quick obedience trains your spirit to stay sensitive. The more you obey, the more you hear. The more you hear, the more you trust. And the more you trust, the less room fear has to speak. This is how you protect what I've started. Not with striving, not with guilt, but with rhythm. Daily, simple, sacred. I don't need grand gestures. I desire your consistency. I don't ask for performance. I ask for presence. If you will give me your heart, I will shape your habits. If you give me your attention, I will shape your future. If you give me your yes, I will give you access to things you once only prayed for. You are not restored to stay still. You were restored to walk. And now walk with me. Step by step. Word by word. Choice by choice. I will lead. I will speak. I will correct. I will comfort. But I will not carry you where you're unwilling to walk. This is your invitation. Build your life around my presence. And your life will bear the weight of my promise. My beloved, lean in. What I'm about to speak is not a concept. It's a divine decree. You have waited. You have obeyed. You have let me dig deep foundations in the unseen. You have remained faithful even when nothing seemed to move. And now I declare over your life, the shift has begun. This is not just a change of scenery. It is a change of season. What once resisted is beginning to release. What once felt like silence is about to become sudden clarity. What was hidden is about to be revealed. And I am the one doing it. I know how long you've held on. I know how many times you doubted if you heard me correctly. I know how quietly you've endured, choosing not to abandon me even when everything inside you questioned what I was doing. But heaven has recorded your faithfulness. The secret, yes. The quiet obedience. The silent nights where you prayed without answers. The internal battles no one saw, but I did. And I'm telling you now, you are not unnoticed. I have seen, I have marked it, and I am responding. You thought you missed your moment, but your moment was waiting for you to become ready. You thought the delay was punishment, but it was preservation. If I had released what you prayed for too soon, it would have crushed you. But now you've been strengthened in the fire, refined by the silence, rooted in identity. And because of that, you are ready. Ready to receive what I've been holding until now. Ready to carry what others cannot. Ready to walk through the doors that no man can shut. You didn't earn this season. You were prepared for it. So listen carefully. Doors are opening. Favor is shifting. Alignment is happening. Connections that were blocked are now being released. Conversations that were delayed will suddenly resume. Opportunities that dried up will reappear with new clarity. And you won't have to strive. This will be a season of divine ease. Not because there's no opposition, but because you'll be walking in the authority that was forged in silence. What used to shake you will no longer distract you. What used to intimidate you will now recognize the weight you carry. Because you are not stepping into this moment in your own name. You are stepping in mine. You will begin to sense it. A divine confidence rising. A clarity where there was once confusion. A holy boldness replacing fear. This is the fruit of the process. This is the reward of your surrender. You have not been forgotten. You've been preserved. You are not disqualified. You've been distinguished. You are not behind. You are being unveiled right on time. And I speak this specifically. Some of you will see changes within days. Unexpected messages. Strategic meetings. Divine interruptions. These are not random. Do not dismiss them as coincidences. Recognize my hand in them. I am confirming what you've held in your heart for years. And when it comes, do not shrink back. Do not apologize for the grace that follows you. Do not disqualify yourself in rooms I've assigned to you. Walk in with humility, but also with authority. You belong there. Not because of your resume, but because of your obedience. And yes, the warfare may increase, but so will your discernment. So will your peace. So will your authority. You will not face what's coming with the same mindset you had before. You've been sharpened. You've been equipped. You're no longer the same version of yourself who entered the valley. You're a carrier of breakthrough now. Your presence shifts atmospheres. Your words carry weight. Your silence carries wisdom. The oil you carry has cost you. And now I will use it to anoint others. But remember this. Don't rush ahead of me. Sensitivity must stay your posture. I'm not just moving for you. I'm moving through you. Stay in step with me. Let me guide the pace. Don't try to manufacture open doors. I'm the one opening them. Your job is to remain available, obedient, and rooted. Stay small in your own eyes, but confident in who I am in you. The more you trust my timing, the more you'll recognize my fingerprints. And I say this with urgency. Do not return to old patterns. The voices of old insecurity, old cycles, old distractions, they will try to pull you back into the familiar. But you've outgrown those garments. You've outgrown those mindsets. This is not a season to revisit. This is a season to possess. Step into the land I promised you. Not just physical places, but spiritual inheritance, emotional health, mental clarity, supernatural peace, relational restoration, creative awakening. Leadership influence, evangelistic power, apostolic authority. This is not hype. It is your birthright. So receive it. Let the shift begin in your language, in your posture, in your expectation. Speak differently. Pray boldly. Declare with clarity. Don't look for validation. Look for confirmation. I am sending it. Not to convince you, but to anchor you. You are not guessing anymore. You are walking in what you've known all along. This is your time. Not because you fought for it, but because I appointed it. Walk into it like someone who has been marked by the cross, restored by silence, and released by the voice of the Father. You are not going back. You are being launched forward, and everything is about to change. Now that you've heard the call, now that your spirit has been stirred, now that the promise has been spoken and the shift announced, I want to do something deeper. I don't just want you to hear me. I want you to encounter me. Not just with your mind, but with your whole being. This is the part of the journey where words begin to fade and presence begins to speak. Where logic bows and your spirit stands up. Where my spirit meets you. Not in performance, but in your most honest place. There are no formulas here. No scripts. Just me and you. And I want to come closer than I ever have. Right now, where you are, let the atmosphere change. Let every distraction fade. Let every inner voice grow quiet. You don't need to try to feel spiritual. You don't need to posture yourself in any religious way. Just be here, present, software, honest. and let my Spirit come. Holy Spirit is not far from you. He is not waiting for a worship song to start. He's not trapped inside a sanctuary or behind a pulpit. He has been hovering over you, waiting for this moment of surrender, waiting for the gate of your heart to open fully. And now, as you let go, as you breathe, as you say within yourself, "Yes, Lord, I want you," He moves gently, powerfully, unmistakably. You may not even have words for it, but your spirit recognizes Him. Your soul exhales. Your walls come down. And suddenly you realize He was always this close. Let Him in. Not just into the rooms you've cleaned up, but into the ones still full of fear. Let Him into the unresolved places, the old memories that still sting. The conversations that replay when everything else goes quiet, the habits you've tried to break alone, the loneliness you hide behind confidence. Let Him enter the deepest spaces, the most human parts of you, and watch what happens when holiness touches humanity without condemnation. The Spirit does not come to expose you in shame. He comes to free you in truth. He doesn't come to criticize your weakness. He comes to carry it. And now, as He begins to move inside of you, let the tears come if they need to. Let the trembling rise if it must. You are not breaking. You are being made whole. You are not being undone. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. All the pieces you've tried to keep separate, your thoughts, your wounds, your questions, they're all being drawn together under one covering. Presence. The Spirit of the living God is not fragile. He is fire, but He is also oil. He is wind, but He is also water. He knows how to meet you exactly where you are. And now He's doing the work no one else could. Restoring tenderness where you went numb. Rebuilding trust where you felt betrayed. Reigniting joy where you shut down. This is not emotionalism. This is encounter. This is transformation. Let Him fill your imagination again. Let Him reawaken your dreams. Let Him breathe over your creativity, your calling, your clarity. Let Him speak, not in thunder, but in whisper. You've heard so many voices in your life, but none sound like this. This is the voice that told light to exist. This is the voice that hovered over the void. This is the voice that whispered, "It is finished," from the cross, and still speaks your name now. You may begin to feel warmth or stillness or nothing at all. That doesn't mean I'm not moving. I'm not measured by sensation. I'm measured by surrender. And your surrender is loud in the Spirit. Heaven is responding to this moment. Chains that lived in your inner world for years are beginning to fall. Thought patterns are being reset. Emotional cycles are being broken. You are not just being comforted. You are being filled. Filled with the same Spirit that raised Jesus from the grave. Filled with the breath that hovered over creation. Filled with the nature of peace itself. Not temporary peace, but lasting peace. A peace that doesn't need a reason to stay. A peace that speaks louder than fear. A peace that carries you when logic fails. And this peace is not just for a moment. It is a person. I am that peace, and I live in you. You will leave this encounter different. Even if nothing changes externally right now, you have changed. Something has been unlocked. Something has been healed. Something has been released. And though others may not see it immediately, they will feel it. You will carry the residue of encounter, the fragrance of presence. You will walk lighter, speak deeper, see clearer. You won't need to explain it. You'll just be it. This is what I longed for all along. Not just for you to know about me, but for you to carry me. For my Spirit to rest inside you like not a hotel. And now that home has been rebuilt room by room, layer by layer. This is not revival around you. This is revival within you. So breathe deep. Rest in me. Stay in this posture. Let me mark you in a way that nothing else can erase. Let this become your new normal. Life in my Spirit. Let the cross not only remind you of what was done for you, but of what now lives within you. I am here. I am within. And I will not leave. My beloved, now that I have spoken, now that I have restored and revived what was once quiet and buried, now that you've encountered me in the stillness, it is time. Time to rise. Not with haste, but with holy confidence. You're not the same. Not in your spirit. Not in your posture. You've been filled with something eternal. Something unshakable. Something that can't be explained by the natural eye. This is more than a spiritual moment. This is a marking. What was once only whispered in the secret place will now echo through the way you live. You no longer carry the weight of shame. You carry the mantle of my Spirit. You no longer live for approval. You live from identity. You no longer serve from striving. You serve from overflow. What I have begun inside you will not fade, because I am faithful to finish what I start. This is not the end of your healing. It is the beginning of your activation. I am sending you out now, not as one wounded, but as one witnessed, not as one forgotten, but as one filled, not to perform, but to reflect. Wherever you go, my presence goes with you. My voice will continue to whisper, but now you'll recognize it. My spirit will prompt, but now you'll trust it. And when the silence returns, you will not fear it. You will know it's where I dwell deepest. So walk forward. The cross still whispers your name, and now you carry its message. To the weary, to the lost, to the hidden, to the ones waiting for the sound of hope. Let your life be that sound. Let your story be the proof that I still resurrect. You are no longer surviving the silence. You are living the answer. Go now. Not the same. Marked. Sent. Alive. Amen. If this word met you in the silence, share it with someone who's still walking through theirs. Let them know the cross still whispers their name. And if you're led to keep receiving what I'm speaking, leave a like, stay close, and remain ready. I'm not finished. If you felt peace and blessings through this video, please like, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to the channel God Message today to continue walking together on this journey of faith. May God bless you every day.